Good day. So today we're going to start off with reading a passage from Wishes Fulfilled by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. It's a great book for spiritual enlightenment and choosing the path within. And the topic today is going to be about thoughts. The title of the topic is Do You Really Think? Do you really think? No one has ever been able to say from whence a thought comes or what that thought is made up of. It's generally accepted that we think up things and we make up all of our own thoughts. To be perfectly honest, for a large portion of my life, I held these same views on thoughts originating with each individual. But at this juncture, I tend to see the entire process as more of an act of observation, contemplation, and choice. I enjoy noticing that I have a continuous stream of thoughts that come from who knows where. They have no boundaries or forms to examine, and apparently are unlimited in number and permutation. I think of the stock market ticker that runs along the bottom of a screen, with each stock price representing a simple thought. You are capable of thinking many opposing thoughts in just a few moments, jumping helter-skelter from one idea to another. Exhilaration, frustration, fear, ecstasy, worry, and so forth. Unguided and unguarded, you serve up an endless array of thoughts continuously, from waking to falling asleep. Even while sound asleep, your mind continues observing, grabbing, and contemplating these omnipresent thoughts. There's very little respite from this mental thought-producing process throughout your entire lifetime. If you really believe you are the creator of all your thoughts and control the entire process, then simply stop. That's right. Just try to stop thinking. You may be able to slow down the stream of thoughts, but to slow down the stream of thoughts you may be able to slow the stream of thoughts down considerably. But to simply stop thinking all day and stay in a thoughtless state is quite impossible. I'm suggesting you open your thought process to a new idea that will help you as you begin changing your concept of yourself. You can think of yourself as a divine, limitless being, rather than a person who doesn't have a choice when it comes to your thoughts. Think of yourself as an observer, contemplating and selecting thoughts that you choose from that never-ending stream of thoughts on your inner screen 24/7, 365. Watch thoughts stream from wherever they originate and observe them rapidly transitioning and combining and appearing and disappearing. Snatch a thought from the running ribbon of thoughts and contemplate it. As you toss it around, notice how you feel. Sad, depressed, happy, frightened, and so on. Every thought going by has an imprint on your concept of yourself. First be the observer, and then the contemplator. Now become the choice maker who can consciously decide to put that thought back into the running stream and pick a different one. A thought that perhaps allows you to feel better. I am okay. I look fine. I will lose a few pounds. I am loved. I am divine. These and millions more like them are thoughts that you can opt for rather than the ones you've become accustomed to choosing in the past. This is how you begin a new process to change your concept of yourself. You accept as irrevocable that it is not you setting the stream of thoughts into motion, and that stopping thinking isn't possible at this stage of your evolution. At this stage, the essence of your being is to observe, contemplate, and then choose. This can all be done in a fraction of a nanosecond. The thoughts will keep appearing on your mental TV screen, just like the stock quotations. But you'll now be choosing the ones you want to focus on. Gather, retain, or let go. I'm encouraging you to initiate a habit of choosing thoughts and ideas that support feeling good and powerful, and that elevate you to a higher level of consciousness, where your self-concept welcomes your higher self. I love Ewell S. Anderson's description of this process in his book, 3 Magic Words. I leave you to contemplate it as you prepare to befriend that indwelling self that is desperately wishing to be fulfilled at the extraordinary level, rather than the ordinarily where you have lived for far too long. And this is the quote, we have assured the indwelling self that it can be anything it accepts and has faith in, and we are now about to develop in the habit of choosing only thoughts and ideas that will constructively add good unto it. We are teaching ourselves to accept only good. We are deliberately compelling ourselves to accept all love, all kindness, all hope, all joy, all expansion, all abundance, all health, all vigor. We are deliberately compelling ourselves to reject all suffering, all sorrow, all depression, all morbidness, all inferiority, all aches and pains. We are saying nothing is true, but the great and the good and the beautiful. Only these will we add unto ourselves. This is your new way of choosing thoughts that will introduce you to what I'm calling your highest self. Keeping uppermost in mind that if you want to accomplish something, anything, you must first expect it of yourself.
I love that. When he spoke about the great and the beautiful, he spoke about us, I think. But nevertheless, I love Wayne Dyer, and I'm very happy that I had the pleasure to meet him many years ago. Let's say many years ago. I don't remember the year. While he was still alive and doing one of his last retreats on Maui, Hawaii. This was very special. And on the day we arrived, I remember we met him. He was walking around as he lives there with his daughter, and we approached him and we talked a little bit. He proved that he can speak even some German, and I think we are very rare people. We have a picture with him where he's without a shirt. He was in beach outfit, so it's very interesting.
You
Just
are
remembered that.
lucky one right there.
Yes.
So, Norman, what are your thoughts on thoughts?
I like how Wayne describes that, and that the thoughts are not our thoughts, and like with the news ticker on the bottom of the screen. Thinking about that, I would say thoughts come from two different places. If we go to the spiritual side first, we have the morphogenetic field or the fifth dimension, or however you want to call it, where everything exists. What you said in the last episode about the idea of frequency, that somebody else had it for the app. Every idea, every thought is already out there. The question is, do I connect to the thought, and is somebody else connecting to the thought, and are they acting faster? To get to those thoughts, I have to be quiet. I have to quiet my mind. I have to be very centered, because like I always say, God speaks in a very low voice. God whispers. Kind of. He does not scream around, and if you say, yeah, but God, I cannot hear you, everything is so loud, he say, yeah, I created all of this, and if you pay more attention to Instagram and Facebook and Zoom and whatever, then go for it. I don't go into competition with all those things. If you choose them, do it. I talk to you every day, but in a very quiet voice. The voice we usually hear in my mind is kind of the press secretary of our mind, which in my case goes back 49 years, my whole experience. And this press secretary explains the world to me. You look outside the window and you say, oh, it's a beautiful sunny day. This voice you hear all day, like the host, the commentator, who describes what you see, what you hear, smell, touch, and so on. This is basically, like I said, the press secretary of your conscious mind, where you have to had experiences in the past and lived through things and read things, and out of all of those things that you call real, this press secretary, like your brain, gives meaning to the things you see, smell, taste, hear, and touch, and it has, of course, the job to survive, that the body survives, that you are on this planet. And this voice can keep you small, this voice can raise you up, or this voice can be very neutral. Like whenever you have a self-talk, I messed this up again. This is also the voice. So I think it's two different voices that we have. It's the spiritual voice that we can connect to, that is always there for us with all inspirations, with all what's the next step to my goal. And then we have this usually doubting voice, our own voice based on our own experience. And I think we should focus more on this inspirational voice. What do you think?
I, First of all, I definitely like what you said, and what you described to me sounded like the higher self, what people would call the higher self and the lower self, right? Lower self being the ego, and the higher self being the God that you are, or like, or
Yeah, the God within you.
the God within you that dwells within you as you. Just for people to know, I looked at my past videos, so I'm talking a little bit slower now to improve the way I speak.
And you're doing very
Make
well,
it
my
more.
friend.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, this is hilarious. So, what do I think about thoughts? I had a great aha moment, right, where two of my synapses came together and created like sparks in my head. If there is, and let's say if for now, if there is an unlimited stream of thoughts right now that exists all around us and that we can hook up into with our brain, essentially, as a transmitter and receiver of energy, vibration, and frequency. And if you go for this exercise that he describes, that you observe thoughts, like right here, I see one heavy, right? Heavy one. That's stock ticker heavy on it. And you just observe all of them. And you observe what you look at. Table, book, plant, everything. Everything's a thought. Right? If you think about it. Everything's a thought. Everything is source. Everything's a thought. And I just had this, and I read, like, when you read a book, that's why, for example, Kevin Trudeau says, and cancel the like word. I don't like the like word. I have to improve that. But I caught myself. Let's go. What Kevin Trudeau says, books are magic. Books allow you to connect to people that are already dead, like with Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. You can connect to him by reading his book. You can connect to him by sitting down in silence and connecting to his spiritual essence. You can do all these things. Books are magic. And what do you read when you look at a book? Well, you read thoughts in physical form. It's just words. It's like a bunch of stock tickers running in a sentence that makes sense when you read it. And cancel. You guys will hear a lot of cancel this time today. And I don't
Do you want to
care.
describe what cancel means? Because I think some people have no clue what you're doing and what you're talking about.
So
It has to
in
do
this
with
case,
thoughts, right?
exactly, and habits of thinking. So cancel is, well, it's a technology where if you have a certain habit of thinking or doing things, but mostly thinking and speaking, what you can do is, first step, you become aware that you are doing a certain habit that you want to replace or improve or change. You look at it and then you say cancel. And what cancel does is it, and this is very fitting. Thank you that you asked this question. It disconnects you from this habit. And what it allows is you disconnect from the habit. You can then put it back into the field and replace it with a new habit. In my case, what I wanted to do was to remove the words right, like, and while speaking. But I have a habit of doing so and have had this habit for a very long time. So for me, it is quite challenging to change this. And when I recognize, oh, I did it again, I can't say cancel, and replace it with silence in my mind. And if it's a belief, I can replace it with a positive belief. In my case, it's a habit. So let's say if I have the belief, oh, I can't do it. This is never gonna work. All this stuff. When the mind, as you said, like the observer, like the ego, like the voice in our heads is telling you these things. It's just that you've been trained to think that way over time. There's certain neural pathways in your brain that just work this way. It's just simple biology. So what you can do is you can catch yourself when you believe that and say, cancel, and then replace it with, I can do it. This is going to work out. Or with something that you can actually believe. Like I said like, cancel. But in this case, like was actually good. Like, for example, instead of I can't do it, you could say, maybe I can do it, maybe I can't do it. I at least give myself the room to be able to do it. Because if you have, like, at least, and that's already a progress. Replace it with something you can believe in. Yeah. That is important. So that's what canceling is.
Thank you.
And going back, you're welcome. And it's to rephrase it, it's simply a technology to use to deprogram and reprogram your mind. It's very simple. Now back to thoughts. There's this infinite stream of thoughts going on all around us. And everything we see, from the light up here to the wood, to Norman in the screen, to my laptop, everything is thought in a different form. And I just had this aha moment of getting it more. Text and images, I wrote this down. Text and images are thought put into shape. Sounds are vibrations interpreted. And when thoughts take physical form, they actually are just strongly slowed down. It's like what we are and what our body is, compared to what our body is. Our body is just a slowed down version of ourselves. And I thought, this is magical.
It
because
is.
I'm the observer, and everything around me is thought, just in different form.
Thought that came in motion and a different frequency. Like the pen was once a thought. Your light bulb was once a thought.
Everything what it says on this book back here, everything that now exists was once imagined, and everything that will ever exist must first be imagined.
Yeah, and if we look into the Bible, what does it say right in the beginning? At the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And God spoke, there will be animals, and animals came. Which means, if we follow what you just said, that he spoke something into existence. He just had to think about it first. Because every word you speak, every word you write was once a thought that you just put on paper or put through your mouth to the outside. Which means the Bible tells us exactly what creation is. It's not speaking, it's thinking. Speaking is just the simple thing that follows.
Speaking is just the expression of thought.
Yes. One expression.
One expression of thought.
Yeah.
Isn't that magical, just thinking about it? Right? We are observers. We observe everything around us. And everything around us wouldn't exist if we wouldn't observe it.
Yes.
We are the light that shines into the darkness and has created all of this. And Eckhart Tolle has said this. Other people have said this. Like cancel. If you watch Eckhart Tolle, he says this all the time. Yeah. It's not my life because I am life. So, but this might not make sense to when I say these things. To me, it makes sense, but I possibly shouldn't explain it a little bit more for our audience. But I'll keep it at that. So, nature is source, right? Cancel. I will say this over and over again until I won't anymore, and I finally get it. That's why nature is source. It's pure thought. It's just growing out there. You don't have to do anything. You can just observe it. It's pure source. It just
only
needs
thought brings something into creation. Only thought. Without thinking, you don't act.
Yeah.
That's the most powerful force in the whole universe. And therefore, thank you very much for doing your cancel all the time. Even though it might disappoint 2-3 people, they say, I don't want to hear him work on himself. But that is exactly what you want to do with bad thoughts, with negative thoughts, with bad opinion from other people. Just let them talk, maybe down at you. Oh, I don't like your project. And you just say, still within yourself, cancel. Don't take it home. Just cancel it right there. So I like what you do.
Exactly. Thank you for the compliment. So what are thoughts? Thoughts is, and that's an opinion. Thoughts are source. Like thoughts are the ever-moving stream. Thoughts is consciousness itself, right? Cancel. And we picking up that consciousness and getting inspired by it. And by the way, what words are inspired? It's in spirit. Right? Cancel.
Yeah, quote something from another book. You're doing good. It's called
Thank
It
you.
Works. And
Yes.
Orlando and I spoke about it off record earlier about something totally different. And there it says something that I really understood, not reading it the first 2 times, but teaching it to some other people. I fully got it, and it blends so well in what we speak about in this moment. There it says, do not talk to anyone about your plan. Like if you have goals, visions, plans, dreams, do not talk to anyone about your plan except to the great power within you, which will unfold to your objective mind the method of accomplishment. And I was just reading over this line and I thought, yeah, don't talk to other people. But the really important part is at the end that I almost overread the first 1-2 times. Let me read it to you again. Do not talk to anyone about your plan except to the great power within you, which will unfold to your objective mind the method of accomplishment. Basically, in one sentence, the author tells us how manifestation works. It's not that something creates out of thin air right in front of you. This stream of unconsciousness, of all that is, of God, of the universe, will present ideas that your transmitter and receiver, your brain, of frequencies can grab. And this will be for your objective mind that says, yeah, that's logical or that's not logical, will present ideas to fulfill the dreams you have. It's not God that brings you the new car or the new house or more money or the spouse. It comes through other people, but you need to be inspired to go out and meet them, greet them, write to them.
What did
whatever.
you just say? Did you say it's not God that brings us the stuff?
Yes. God
Okay,
does
I
not
will
come
challenge
with a
this.
burning wagon down the A6 Autobahn. No, he works through other people.
Okay,
God
I will
does not
challenge.
come by himself. That's what I mean.
So I will
Because-
challenge a few things you said here. Okay, this
Yes,
is also.
please.
So one thing I would challenge is you said the stream of unconsciousness, but it is consciousness. So that's what I would challenge. Like the stream is conscious. everything is consciousness, and we are part of this consciousness.
I agree, and the transmission to the higher self is through the subconscious mind and not the conscious mind. Probably I phrased that in a not so nice way, but the unconsciousness is your connection to source, not the conscious mind.
Okay, I will. I understood it better now. And the second part was that God is the source. This is very important to understand, because what is it depends on what the definition for each person of God is. If you think about God as the God of the ego, the white-bearded man that comes down from heaven and then gives you stuff, then of course God is not going to be the source of things. If you think as God of everything that has existed, exists, and will ever exist, and we are a part of God and God is part of us, then God is absolutely the source of everything. Because what you said, God works through people as the people.
Yes.
So that's something that I would say, if I interpreted what you said correctly, you had a different thought in mind when it comes to the word God. Am I correct here?
Neil Donald Walsh describes God in a very beautiful picture. He says, imagine God as being the ocean, all waters, the whole ocean. But the ocean consists of many small little water drops. Each and every water drop is basically the ocean, because without water drops there would be no ocean. But the water drop itself is not the ocean. The stone is not the mountain. It's just part of it. And that's basically what I meant. God, everything that is, will not come down. The whole ocean will not come. He will send you a wave that you can surf on. It's part of the ocean, because every water drop is the ocean. But that's basically what I meant. Of course it comes through God, but not through this white man with the long beard and a wooden stick. And, yeah.
So to speak then, God is the source. So he is the source because everything is God, right?
Yes. So we are source.
Exactly.
And every other human being, every stone, every animal is source as well. And everything we want to have comes through this other source, little tiny parts, through other ocean drops to me. It's not that the totality of everything comes to me and hands it to me like a parcel. No, the mailman will come because he's source as well. He's also a stone from this mountain or a drop from the ocean.
So basically, if we think about it works and what it says in it works, what you said is don't share your dreams with anyone but your higher self.
Yes.
And yourself and your objective mind interpreting source and God without will deliver you through its interpretation and cancel and through your vibration, situations, people, events, circumstances that will get you closer to your goal.
Yes.
Would you subscribe to that?
Absolutely. And then you act and you get closer to your goal.
Exactly.
Again,
Action is also
you have to, in the third dimension, we have to go through space and time. If I want to come to Malaysia, I have to go through space, which means I need to leave my space, south of Germany, get into an airplane, fly to you, and it takes time, space and time. I have to go through space and it takes me time in the third dimension. Therefore, the new car I want to have does not land in my garden. I have to go through space and time to get it. And therefore, it's a combination. Of course, God gives it to me and gives me the inspirations that I can start and move, because we manifest through action and not through just wishful thinking and hoping and praying and only sitting in the garden and says, bring everything to me. In my mind, the action is required.
And that brings me to maybe the last point to think about decisions in combination with actions. So with the precursor obviously being thoughts, so you think about something, then you make the decision, and then you take action, is what creates a new timeline.
Yes.
Because you're at this point, you've thought about things, you come to this point, you make a decision, and then there's a decision, yes or no. Do I do it? Do I don't do it? And at this point, you have a new fork in the road. So, plus the action. Because if you make a decision and then you don't take action, that is also again a decision. And it kind of takes you somewhere completely else, which is very, very interesting. That's why, for example, Kevin Trudeau also says, take action within 48 hours of making a decision. It's very important, because otherwise you get into a spiral downwards and basically think you lied. You're a liar.
Yeah, and your momentum is gone. You're excited right now, or you're scared right now. And if you take action due to this emotion, then it works. Because the one thing that some people forget is, if you look at the result, which is a 4-step process, the result is step number 4. That's the thing that is right now. What needs to happen that I get a different result? I need to act in a different way. So number 3 would be action. 3 is action, 4 is result. What's the base of every action? Smart people would say a thought. Yes, number 1 is a thought. You need to have a thought. Without a thought, no action, no result. But what's in between 1 and 3? It's number 2. And most people just oversee that. It's the emotion.
I wanted to ask that. I
Yes.
was like, okay, what is emotion?
It's the emotion.
Yes.
And let's play this game in 2 ways. So we have thought is number 1, which triggers automatically an emotion. The emotion sets us in action or not. And number 4 is we have a result. Now let's do a little game. My thought will become your thought. How? Through speaking. Orlando, I would have the idea, let's go jogging tomorrow at 5. Now, would you be in, or do you say, I don't think so? Both
With you,
answers
I'll
are okay.
always say yes to you.
Perfect.
So yes.
Thank you very much. So let's play the yes variety, and then we play the no variety. My thought through speaking becomes Orlando's thought consciously. Orlando's conscious mind receives that through his ear and says, do you want to go jogging tomorrow at 5? Now he will hand the information to his subconscious mind, where everything is stored, his likes, his dislikes, his values, his self-image, everything. So your subconscious mind starts to Google and says, do we like getting up at 5? Do we like jogging? Do we like Norman? And if it's a yes 3 times, it will report back and says, yeah, this feels good. We like Norman, we like jogging, we like 5 o'clock, which brings him into action that he says, yes, let's go for it. Tomorrow at 5 we meet, we go jogging, result when we end at 6, we feel fit, healthy, and say, let's do that again. Because a positive result leads to the next positive thought, to the next positive emotion, to the next positive action, to the next positive result. Now let's play the game in a negative way. And you would have thought, I don't think so. Same thing happens. My sentence goes to your conscious mind. It gets Googled in the subconscious mind and it says 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't think so. Jogging? I don't think so. You? Yeah, but 2 versus 1? No, because it does not feel good getting up that soon and then going jogging. I don't like that, which means you have a bad emotion about the thought, which means your action tomorrow at 5 will be in bed, which means your goal that you might have to be more fit or healthy or slim, whatever it might be, you would look at the result, you would stand in front of the mirror and say, I'm not losing weight, I'm a lazy ... that we cancel right away, which leads to the next negative thought, because you think, oh, I need to have breakfast because I feel so bad. Then you eat 5 eggs and 10 toasts, which make you feel bad, this action. So it's always a circle, positive and negative.
Yeah.
So the emotion is key. And probably one more thing about the emotion, because people that have depression or things like that, it's an emotional feeling you fall in. And whenever I meet people that are depressed, I say, how do you make it? How do you make your depression? And they're always like, what do you mean? I don't do that. It happens to me. And I say, yeah, but if a thought needs to be before the emotion, then the emotion is just the triggered result of a thought. You need to think something first. Probably you're unaware of that. And what triggers the thought? What comes through your brain, through your five senses. If you would have none of your five senses, nothing would get into your mind and
But
nothing would
also,
change.
but also the interpretation of what comes through,
Yes,
right? So you can, two
yes,
people can see the same thing and they can interpret it completely differently and see, oh, this is really good, and the other person is, oh, this is really bad. For example, with your example in the morning, some people could be saying, okay, I stood up for myself and said no because I preferred sleeping. And
yeah,
the other person could have been, oh, I wanted to run, and oh, now I declined it, and I'm such a loser, whatever.
yeah. Cancel,
So
cancel.
it's all really, it's at every point in time, it's also like an interpretation.
Always, always. Based on your values, on your favorite things, on your likes, dislikes, your upbringing, everything. It's like a filter where everything that you sense through your five senses goes through. And depending on your filter, it will become something good or bad. The only thing that you can like a sunny day is you have to relate it to something. You needed to experience rain or snow or storm in the past. Without that relation, the sun would just be there. You would not even recognize it. But through this law of polarity on this earth, that everything has to be polar opposite. Like Esther Hicks always shows a stick and says there are always two sides of a stick. You have the so-called good and the so-called bad, but it's not good or bad. It's just neutral. It's just two different sides. It's dark and light. It's male and female, left and right. The only can only exist with the other. And that's what you say, 100% true. Your own opinion, based on your upbringing, your experience, your likes, and so on, gives you the feeling of good, bad, or somewhere in between.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this.
You're welcome.
Do we have any last words for our episode on thoughts?
Absolutely. Thoughts are things. Everything you want to have as things need to be thoughts first. And if you believe your thoughts and if you have fun doing it and you feel better now, then you take inspired action, then you will have it at one point. Why? Because everything that exists happened the same way. What's your final words?
My final words would be adding to what you just said. If thoughts are things and thoughts kind of create emotions or they are the precursor of emotions.
Yes.
An emotion is energy in motion. So you have a thought creates energy. A thought moves energy. And if everything is thought, and by thinking you move energy, you can make sense of the saying, you become what you think about most of the time, or you get what you think about most of the time. Because if you think about it, you add energy to the thing you're thinking about. And energy has mass. So if energy has mass and you think about what you want most of the time, at some point it will have enough mass to show up in your physical 3D experience. And that would be my last words to this.
I love that. And if you like it, you created something out of mass. And if you don't like it, it's a mess.
That is funny.
Alrighty. It was an amazing talk, my friend. See you very
Likewise,
soon.
I enjoyed it.
Bye bye.
Love. Bye.